18 months ago, on-demand liquidity, or ODL, was in 3 markets, and now?
There was a period 18 months ago where with our on-demand liquidity product, which uses digital asset as the bridge currency to pay out in these markets, you could only do that in 3 markets. Today, we can do that in 40, and that's over this same period where there's a lot of bad noise in the market.
What does Ripple want in 2023?
What do we want in 2023? We'd love the continuation of regulatory clarity in markets where we don't have it.
Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and that intro was Brooks Entwistle. He's with Ripple. He's located in Singapore, speaking a couple of weeks ago on that panel. And yeah, I'm playing a little bit with the new short format on YouTube, pushing my learning curve to create this content in an aspect ratio of the 16:9 under 60 seconds. It's kind of fun to try. But did you hear what Brooks said? 40 markets in 18 months. Well, we've got a ways to go still in regards to making an impact on that circulating supply. It's ramped up to about a little over 1 billion per month in ODL payments. This is a $1 trillion problem. So like I said, we've got a ways to go, which is why I don't only focus on Ripple. You need to focus on who is building on the XRP ledger. In 2023, we're probably going to see over 100 new projects that receive grants and probably several hundred other projects that are coming for the NFTs and, of course, hooks, which gives the ledger a type of smart contracts capability. And then you've got Flare. They are live and they have integrated with the XRP ledger. It is truly huge. We're going to talk a little bit about that in this video. But before we jump there, I want to play just one more mashup of clips of Brooks. He's been on 2 panels in the last couple of weeks.
Brooks, welcome.
Great to be in San Moritz. I'm a Colorado guy, although I've lived in Asia for the last 30 years. So it's great to be in the mountains, and thanks for having me. I'm at Ripple. I have 2 roles there. I look after our biggest region, which is kind of everything from Dubai to Japan, up from Australia, reporting to the Singapore office, which is our big mega regional headquarters. And I also look after our global customer businesses as well. So we've had an interesting year in 2022, like others we'll talk about on this panel, but we've also been at this for 10 years. So like many people on this panel, we've been through a few of these down cycles, a few of these winters, and looking forward to learning lessons and that perspective going forward. I came at this, I was a Goldman Sachs partner and really spent most of my career overseas building businesses around the world, and then was at Uber for many years, which is one of the great scaling experiences, as well as dealing with regulators in a way that was contentious, certainly at the beginning as well. So lots of similarities to this role in crypto, but most importantly, looking forward to being part of this group, and thanks for having me.
Chris Larsen came to Level 39 in London, 2014, I think it was, the first blockchain lab there. And he told me about these new rails. Okay, new rails. And I thought, interesting. Who are you targeting and why? So here we are today. And the question is, old rails, new rails. Why is it taking so long?
It takes a long time to build another financial network, which I think is what Ripple set out to do. As people know, there's XRPL, the ledger, there's XRP, the digital asset, and then there's Ripple, the company, which was set up to build use cases and really set out. And Chris was an unbelievably visionary founder, still involved. We still see him in San Francisco. But this notion that cross-border payments was a utility or use case right from the very beginning. Yeah. And so we set out to do this, and as people on the panel know, and Joe's been around this, we didn't have a lot of luck early on in selling a vision of moving digital assets across a new SWIFT network early on, because a lot of the banks we went to talk to, they may want to invest in us, but they wanted nothing to do with digital assets at that point. And so we found a lot of innovative PSPs and fintechs who were willing to buy into this vision of building a now 70-country financial network known as RippleNet, which is the core business we have. We also play in CBDCs and NFTs and other things on the other side of our business. But the rails have migrated over time. That's the most important message. When we built this on fiat, we had a real use case for moving specifically around remittances or small business flows.
That's right.
But in the last year, and this is what I think is so important for this discussion these 3 days, it's just a lot of good stuff going on underneath the noise. There's real signal going on. And for us, it's very simple. The number of people adapting and using our on-demand liquidity product, which uses digital assets across one country to another, really settling across the blockchain, has gone from 3 countries where we could do this 18 months ago to 40 payout countries. And the volume on the network has gone from about $1 billion US to a $15 billion run rate. So things are happening, but you asked the question, why is it taking so long? It's because building a network that has participants and entities on it that are KYC'd and AML'd and we believe in and trust takes a long time to do.
I would have put a bet on actually the US asking you folks to do a proof of concept for a CBDC. Did you, or would you?
Well, we have a very big CBDC practice. It's now globally based. We actually, within the last couple of months, have put 4 people on the ground in Singapore alone focused on this.
Okay.
It's an important effort. It's an important suite of products. I think I really, related to this point exactly, is I think as an industry, we got to be careful about chasing every single new shiny thing. It tends to dilute business models. It tends to take people off course. And we determined that in addition to our payments business, CBDCs are a very important piece of what we're going to do. However, we have found real traction with smaller governments, smaller central banks that need a holistic solution, a side chain, someone to come in from scratch.
Can you say the names for any? Or?
I can give you a couple examples.
Cool.
Since we're in St. Moritz, I'll give you a mountain example. Our first MOU is with the Kingdom of Bhutan, who has a very forward-looking king, technology advanced, and basically decided he wanted a better way of moving kind of value around the country, whether or not it was payments or other issues they needed to do, and also to set up a system so they could eventually have remittances back into the country as well. We're working with Palau. We're in dialogue and working with a number of central banks around the world. At the China level and at the US level, there's a lot of people chasing that and a lot of people that have their own sovereign interest in mind. And so you got to be realistic about your impact there. But CBDCs will be an important topic for the entire industry going forward. And the interoperability between them, we think, has a real opportunity for many of us around the table.
Some of the members of the Flare Networks team were in Tokyo just a couple of weeks ago, and they did a live demo. And what they did was something pretty cool. They paid for an NFT in XRP that was listed on the Flare platform. So this is an example of real cross-chain utility. The transaction was signed using the Bifrost wallet. I think a lot of you are using that to do your delegation either with the Songbird or with the wrapped Flare. So using that wallet, the transaction was signed on the XRP ledger. Then the NFT was minted on Flare. Here's a 10-second clip. It's at the very end of the presentation that took place. And yeah, it's just really fabulous because that just brings more utility to the XRP ledger and to the digital asset XRP.
The transaction is signed and an NFT is minted on Flare. And think again, we reserved an NFT on Flare, paid for it on the XRP ledger, and finally proved that the payment on XRP ledger was made, and thus minting the NFT.
And now here's the Flare video that was just released yesterday. If you look carefully, you'll see me twice.
Flare is a purpose-built blockchain aiming to solve some of the challenges that we believe are constraining the adoption of the industry. In essence, Flare is built to help the blockchain industry scale and acquire more users by enabling digital assets and on-chain information to flow freely.
If you caught the end of that video, yep, that's my head. There is another shot where you're looking at the front of me. But what I want to do is tell you that this was a really funny conversation. This took place for, how long did we talk? Well, between the two of them, both of them were from SBI, probably spent about a half an hour, but I had the most fun trying to read this executive's face when I would ask him very, very pointed questions that I knew he couldn't answer. And when we were playing this game that I told him that I can read his face, whether he's saying yes or no. So he played along with me, and I would ask him the question, then I would study his face. I couldn't tell. He was really good at playing the poker face. Yeah, I just don't know. I asked him about the swaps with XRP. I asked him about the XRP weighted fund. I asked him lots of questions, and all of which I knew he was not able to answer. But I just wanted to see if I could read any sign from a little twitch of the eye or a slight smile or something. But no, this guy's a pro. He didn't let on to anything that I was asking about. All right, everybody, we're jumping to the fluff. Yes, Japan is a world of really cute things. We say kawaii, and the kawaii things are everywhere. This is just an example of a charger that's in the shape of the trains. Yeah, this middle one, of course, is the bullet train. Well, actually, these are all bullet train models. Yeah, now that I really look carefully, this is an older model. But anyway, you'll see stuff like this, for example. Or how about the very traditional dolls that are put out on Girls' Day in the very beginning of March? These are made out of Lego. Very kawaii. Maybe the most kawaii thing I can show you is a new company that is making clothes for the calves to keep them warm. They are doing studies and finding that the calves do better when they are kept warm, especially up in Hokkaido. So this is a line of new clothing for calves, really kawaii. But in this world of cute things, there is also a very strong adherence to the traditional. And one of the traditional things is proper business manners. And here is an example from that Flair movie that will show you how to properly receive and give the business card. You always use two hands. Always, always, always. So if you do come to Japan, or even if you're in your own home country and you are meeting a Japanese person who is from Japan, you'll want to turn the card around so that the name faces the correct way for the receiver. And you always give it with two hands. The receiver takes it with two hands. And then the proper thing to do is to actually study the card for a moment and say something intelligent about something you see on the card. It doesn't matter, but make a comment. That is the proper business etiquette when you are exchanging business cards. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.